Each year, Mr. Anderson takes his Florida Caribbean history students to St. Vincent and the Grenadines to learn more about the island's history. Not only are students encouraged to go, but teachers attend as well.
The Grenadines trip was the best trip I ever done in my life. It was smooth, the kids were wonderful, we had a great experience, visited the most beautiful beaches in the world, and I thank you, Mr. Anderson, for inviting me to go.
Students who take the class learn about the islands and then get to experience and see the places for themselves.
In this class, we're talking a lot about like different islands and stuff and like different interactions in the Caribbean. And so when I went on the Grenadines, obviously we went to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, and Barbados. And so recently we've been doing projects on the islands and like the history of the islands. And so I feel like by us going on the trip, it gave us like a little more insight into like the different interactions with native people and like people from different countries that like colonized them. The trip was a great time. We learned a lot, and it's been very beneficial as far as taking the class second semester instead of first.
The trip allows students to see how people in the Caribbean live, showing a new outlook on life.
In Florida, we get to learn about the places that I went on the trip, so that's why I took the class, because I think it's cool because I was at these places, so I have a personal connection to them more than the average human. And you like make personal connections when you're there with the people. My favorite part of the trip was getting to spend time in Miro with like the people that live there and like seeing the world from their perspective and staying in contact with them after we left.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. I had a lot of fun.
I had so much fun. The trip was a great experience. Thank you, Mr. Anderson and Tahara Mead.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson, Mr. Hara Mead, and Mr. Mead for such a great trip.
My favorite part was racing toy cars with JJ on Miro. And I want to say thank you to John and Tahara and Mr. Anderson. It's really fun.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. We love you.
My favorite part was Beckway. Thank you, Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson's Florida class is very fascinating. Students learn so much in the classroom and on the trip. Reporting for BTV News Channel 3, I'm Alexis Tadros.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson and Charlene.
I love you.
We love you.